Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Samster. I chose to do a video on this channel because, like I said before, this channel is not really getting a lot of attention. On all my channels, I try to set up a little thing um, where it shows all my channels. Basically, I found out there's this extra thing. YouTube doesn't really tell you how to do it, but I was trying to figure out how to get that thing. Where like all these big YouTubers, like you go to subscribe to them on their channel, and then a whole list of other channels, their other channels, their friends' channels, whoever shows up. And I was trying to get that with my channels because a lot of people tend to friend request or subscribe to my OWN420 channel because I'm always doing videos on there. On here, this channel usually is strictly mostly about my music. If I'm gonna do a new beat or a new idea comes around, I'm gonna do a video like this strictly about just that. But I did put up the channel thing, hoping more people would subscribe, or the people who have subscribed to that channel really get to see my other channels and stuff. And it's kind of cool. I could kind of line up and see which channels are doing better than your other ones. And this one only has like 90 something, maybe 93 subscribers. And I remember at one point this channel was doing pretty good compared to the other ones, but I think even my backyard wrestling channel is doing better than this one. Really, it's because I haven't really been putting out anything. I was supposed to put out the Friday 13th freestyle. I have wrote the extra verses, and they're way better than what I already made. Um, but it's just I haven't been putting out a lot of stuff. I don't know. A lot of shit's been happening. I had a job opportunity like last month, and then it just went away. Um, I already told the story like a million times. If you haven't heard it, ask me or send me a message or something. But this video is all about Proposition 19. I've been doing videos on my other channel about how I supported it, and whatnot. And from what I heard, I was just watching Young Turks, and they were running no on Prop 19 ads with people getting stoned, getting into car accidents and stuff, showing up to work late, all these things that people are thinking, and that's the problem. Proposition 19, all the people that don't really smoke pot, they just think of all the negativity, like, oh, people are going to get stoned and go to work. I've said this before. I mean, the alcohol is legal. You don't really see people getting drunk going to work. And weed is available. I mean, if you really want it, you could really find it. If you try hard enough, no matter where you live, you could pretty much find at least one person that has some kind of connection, and you could get some. It may not be the best, but it's gonna give you a high, and there you go. People don't really show up to work stoned, as far as I know, and if they do, they get fired. I mean, you would hope they get fired. I mean, it's common sense. Like if I ran a store, Samster's music shop or something, um, you know, I mean, all right, it would be a little different with me, but really, like, if someone came out extremely stoned, like bloodshot eyes, and they're like, "Yo, my bad, I'm a little late, man. I'm a little smacked," I'm gonna be like, "You fucking kidding me? Get the fuck out of here and don't come back." Like that would be it. I mean, it's common. That's how retarded people are. Is that they really think that. I mean, like, okay, you legalize pot. The thing I think they didn't stress is that they didn't really show what the rules are gonna be, what the laws are gonna be. A lot of people agree with me on this. I agree with them. If marijuana is ever legalized, which I know it will be within the next 10, 15, maybe 20 years, it's going to take some time. It's not going to happen in one shot, but you guys treat it like alcohol. Um, you know, and they really have to go extremely strict on, IDs and stuff. They're not really doing a great job on that on cigarettes, as we all know. I remember in high school there were people younger than me smoking cigarettes. I actually started a year younger. I mean, come on. But where I live, they actually did change the smoking age, just in Nassau County to 19. Because a lot of younger people were doing it, but it didn't really stop anything. I mean, at first people were going hard, like ID, ID. But after a while, there was still certain places you could go where, as long as you looked kind of 19, 18, you could get a pack. Um, I just think it's really stupid that, there's a lot of people that still oppose it. I mean, unfortunately, the reason is really because there's a lot of ads against weed, against, like you see all these above the influence ones. For years, I've been seeing them, and 90% of all of them are about pot. And for the first time ever, like during the week, I seen one about drinking. And maybe they got the words confused, but you probably seen it. A couple of young kids in a restaurant, and they're like, "Yo, we're about to go get twisted. Yo, you want to come through?" And he's like, "Nah, I'm good." So like, all right, man, whatever. Like they're good friends. They're not gonna make fun of him and all those stereotypical things like, "Oh, you're not cool if you don't." You know what I'm saying? All that crap you see on these other ads that really don't happen. At least I never witnessed it. So whatever, they leave, and then he kind of looks up at the I guess the owner of the restaurant or the guy that he has to pay, and he's just like, "Let me get the bill," and he's just like, "Nah, you're good." And then it says above the influence. Now in my book, twisted, out here where I live, twisted means get drunk. So that kind of did make me feel a little bit better. At least they're attacking alcohol. Not just above the influence, not just attacking marijuana, because that's just stupid. I mean, really, marijuana is not addictive. I mean, I've said this before. I've been in, I had to stop a bunch of times because of drug tests and stuff. I pretty much do it as a hobby. Like I do enjoy getting high. It is a nice little escape. Similar to kind of, I guess, the reason why people get drunk. I mean, comparing the two, I would rather get high than get drunk because I kind of feel like I control myself better. I'm in a better mood. You know what I'm saying? When you drink too much, there's people that go out and hurt people, kill people. There's idiots that go drive and crash. I mean, no offense to if you know anyone that has died because of that. You know, I know somebody that died because of a drunk driving accident. It's just crazy. You get high, you usually don't want to get up and drive. People are like, "Yo, drive me somewhere." And you're like, "Nah, I want to chill." You know what I'm saying? Like, you really got to be really. I can't even put words to it. You really got to be stupid in the head to be like, "Yeah, man, I'm gonna get up and drive, yo." Oh, wow. Like, I've actually driven before high. Kind of going against what I just said, but really, I mean, like, there is a video on YouTube that said that, supposedly you drive better. Obviously, it depends on how high you are and the potency of the marijuana. But I have done it before. I'm not saying anyone should, or that's a good thing, but I never really had any bad experiences with it. I remember one time I did try to drive drunk and I almost swerved into a parked car going like 20, maybe under 20 miles an hour. I was just like, fuck this. Nah, you know. But the only thing I noticed when I was high driving is that if usually, luckily, it was at nighttime when no one's around, and as long as I go the same routes I go that I know by heart that I could do in my sleep, it's nothing. But if I try to go other places, you get nervous. If you do it during the day and this car is behind you, you start thinking like, "Oh my God, am I going too fast? Am I going too slow?" And you start bugging out. But you don't really, you just get nervous and all that. Um, but I mean, like I said, like it's common sense. If you're really that dumb and you're gonna go smoke and then drive, or go smoke and go to work, um, somebody's gonna catch you hopefully, and that's that. I mean that's your dumb mistake, and unfortunately, us being humans, there's a lot of idiots out there that ruin it for everybody. Like this thing with Four Loco, it's not a really, in my opinion, it's not a really bad thing to have, a couple of them. But of course, there's idiots out there that buy like, I don't even know, more than they should have, and then they get super blasted, and they do stupid things. I mean, that's what happens with alcohol. You have too much, you you're either gonna be sick, thrown up, and you're gonna feel like shit, or like there's the violent heads that just start fights with people that cause problems that decide, "Oh, I'm drunk, I'm gonna go rob a store, pocket as much as I could." Like, it's always these idiots that just don't think. of the consequences, and a lot of them just don't care. And it's people like that the reason why we can't really legalize weed. And then on top of that, all the older people, they've been brainwashed the last couple of years with all these ads and everything. You think about it, they've been raising their kids not to really get them into pot or anything, you know. But it's funny at the same time, pot is really the fan favorite. I mean, there's all these merchandising and stuff for it, movies for it, songs, That's kind of how I know at some point it is going to be legalized, but the world's not ready for it. I've said this a bunch of times. Really, the way it's going to happen and the way it has to happen is you got to start small. California, the best place to do it because they already got the medical. One thing they messed up on in Prop 19 is that they didn't really compare the medical users to the non medical. There has to be different laws. The medical users should keep what they have now. They could grow more than the non medical. Think about it. It may not sound fair to some people, but you gotta think of the patients, the people that really, really need it, not the people that just smoke because they like to. The people that kind of have to, they need it more than any of us, really. So they should have more rights to that. As for now, until it's completely legalized, of course. But really, the best way to do it is to start legalizing it medically. It's already legalized medically in like 11 states, I think it is. Maybe more. I know New Jersey's trying to do it. I think New Jersey got it. I'm hoping for New York, but no one's really there to step up and put it to New York. I mean, we had Cuomo's madam or mistress, whatever the hell, running, and she was gonna say she was gonna legalize pot and prostitution. I mean, really, that whole thing was a complete joke because she wasn't. She wasn't dressed like a politician or nothing. She didn't. She seemed like she was, she's smart and she knows what she's talking about, but no one's really gonna take her seriously. Like I was thinking about voting for her, and I was just like, this whole thing is a joke. I mean, even if I vote for her, no one else is, and by her saying she's gonna legalize prostitution, it's all a joke. Really, I'm sure most of her votes went to Cuomo anyway. He won, by the way. Um, but yeah, really, best way to do it is to legalize medically in every state and start getting. Everyone has to just get used to that it's not a bad thing, that it does have good causes to it, does have good benefits and all that. And then after it's medically legalized in every 50 states, then you go back to California and you decriminalize it completely. Because the first place that they decriminalize it, it's not going to be legalized all nationwide in one shot. No. Not unless we get a pothead president who could really talk people and educate them, but that's not going to happen. Um, but yeah, start in California, and once they see that nothing, I mean, I already knew if it did pass, a lot of people would smoke at first, but then once things got back to normal, they could really focus on how it would really be, because you can't take the first couple days in effect and really count those. You got to count like a month later, and like to get the averages of what good and bad happened, and then if everything works out, as long as you Californians don't mess it up, it'll pass on the other states. They'll say, "Oh, okay, let's do it too," and then it'll go on and on. It should go from west all the way up to the east, north, south, all over. And then could get it really. I mean, it's not just that I like smoking pot that I want this thing to be legalized. It's just I just hate all the stupidity people have on it, and they really think it's a bad thing. And you got all these drug cartels in Mexico killing people, and just this whole drug war has failed. It's been around for like forever, and you could completely shut them out if it's legalized and people could buy it themselves. Then these people don't, you can knock out all these drug dealers, and they're the ones that should be in jail, not us innocent stoners. I mean, it feels weird calling myself a stoner. I haven't smoked in like almost a month because I'm trying to get a job now. And that's another thing you guys got to realize. If it is legalized, it doesn't mean, I really don't think it should mean um, that you got to worry. Like, you're still going to have to worry about a drug test because it's just like, alcohol is legal. You're going to drink, the day of your test and it comes out, they're going to be like, oh, well, this guy's an alcoholic. I mean, they should change the level of how much you have in your system, but if you have a lot, then you probably shouldn't be considered